Hey everybody, welcome back. Um, let's do this discussion post. So I watched the video and that was a really good one. Um, I was not expecting it to get as heavy as it did towards the end. I almost cried. um, but anyway, beside the point. Um, let's jump right in. So one of the things that stuck out to me was the way the psychiatrist was using reflective language to try to get George to express his feelings about how the other group mate, Sonia, was feeling. And he kept trying to get George to say how he was feeling by saying, I feel. And George just wasn't really getting it. Or I guess not understanding what he was supposed to say. So I did like how the psychiatrist leading the group um, kind of changed up what he was doing and asked George rather to explain what he would like to do for Sonia, which then ended up having him express how he was feeling without actually using like emotional words. He just instead said what he would like to do, which conveyed empathy, which is what he was feeling, but he couldn't put the words to it, which I really liked that. That was definitely something I'm going to utilize uh, in the near future. I thought that was really a great strategy to use when he realized that he wasn't able to vocalize his feelings. Um, let's see, what else? Um, his body language, the therapist's body language, stood out to me in his tone. He used a very calm tone, spoke slowly, very clear. Um, and when George was speaking to him, he had the psychiatrist was facing George and the other members that were speaking, not moving his body around, not bouncing up and down or, um, twiddling his fingers. He was very focused on the individual speaking, um, and nodded occasionally and made eye contact and really expressed with his body that he was actively listening to what they were saying. Um, let's see what else. Sorry, I'm jumping back and forth. um, I think what worked really well in that group, it seemed like they had all been, just from what I extrapolated from the situation, it seemed like they all pretty much kind of knew each other and they all seemed very comfortable. I think the group dynamics were pretty even. Everybody seemed comfortable expressing their emotions, talking in the group. Um, I really enjoyed how the other group, to Sonia, expressed that they were grateful that she was there, grateful that she was participating in the group, and everybody really seemed supportive of each other. And I think it fostered a safe environment and an openness and an ability for them to be vulnerable and share what was going on with them, as George did towards the end of the video. Um, Also, I think if I were in that group, um, I think I'd feel safe. Like I said, they really had an air of openness and accepting, and I wouldn't feel judged for sharing. Um, they were all pretty great, I thought. They listened to one another and they were supportive. That's what you would like to have in a group, ideally. One thing that I personally wouldn't do, and that I was kind of like, ooh, that the psychiatrist did was after George had, kind of spilled his guts, and being very vulnerable. I did like the way that the psychiatrist validated George, and everything he said was great up until he said that I feel like I know exactly how you feel. And to me, I think that kind of did the exact opposite of what he was wanting to do. And basically kind of took away from what George said. It undermined his uniqueness of how he was feeling and kind of took attention away from George and put it back onto the psychiatrist. Um, so, yeah, that was my takeaway from the video. Yeah, thanks. Bye.